let me just, I make a few slides just with some points that I think it's important for students to know and to consider before applying for a self-source HDR internship. So thank you for inviting me to present that. I really like to talk about this topic because I had a really great experience, and I think everybody should have the experience during their master or their PhD. So to begin with, I select 5 reasons why you should apply for HDR internship. First, to gain confidence, because, sorry, I think it's really easy to have confidence in your lab or where you're doing your PhD after a while, because you are in a comfort zone, and you are working with something that you already are confident with, and so on. So I think it's also important to improve your time management skills, because in my case, we can stop our candidature, but I was doing my internship at the same time as I was finishing one paper. So I really improved my time management skills, where I could select my priorities and use the most of my time. And also because I did the internship just for 3 months, I could do a lot in 3 months. So I think this is really great, especially because of the environment where the internship is done, where you feels like work. So you need to be there for that certain time, and you should not stay longer than that time. So you have to get things done on like 9 to 5. So also to help with communication skills, especially for international students, if you are not feeling confident with your communication skills, and then in your lab, because you have PhD supervisor that always have your back, and you are again in your comfort zone, I feel like after a while we stop to try things by ourselves. So this helped me a lot in demonstrating my idea, communicate better what I was feeling and what I would like to do with my career. And last but not least, to improve your network. I think this is actually the most important reason why everyone should do an internship, especially because once we finish PhD or master, we want to migrate and we want to have a job. So a lot of us goes to academia because think, I'm doing a PhD. I know people from my institute, or I know the network that we have, it's always related to academic. So once you go to industry, you explore yourself, like you show yourself to others. So I think to improve network definitely is one of the most important reasons to do an internship. So what things to consider when you are trying to do a self-source internship? I think this is the most questions that I always get from my colleagues that knows that I have done an internship. When should I apply? So talking about a PhD perspective, for me, I found out that after the start of my 3rd year, it was the right time to do an internship. Why? I had enough results in my PhD that was related to my M1, M2. So I was kind of like already sort out my PhD, and I knew that this time that I would be doing my internship would not affect in my collection of data and so on. So I think depending on the step where you are in your candidature, that's when you should apply. I always apply not between your deadlines. Like, for example, I think you only can apply after the confirmation. But I mean, if it's really close to your final seminar, I would not apply for an internship. And this takes up to 3 to 6 months. So you should really consider it like, oh, I would like to do my internship at March next year. So now is the time for you to actually looking for where you'd like to do, why you'd like to do on this company, and so on. How should I approach the company? Like for me, as Susan said, I always knew what I would like to do on my internship. I was working with a company that was producing some hydrogels that I used in my project. So I work with neuroscience, and one of my aims was to make a 3D culture using hydrogels. So I went to a biomaterial company, which produced this hydrogel, but it was related to my project, but not exactly in the field that I was working, which was great because challenged myself to learn new things and to get out of my comfort zone. So I approached them like, look, I would like to do this internship because I'm working with your products and I would like to understand more your products in order to that the knowledge that I gain while I'm doing your PhD will not be directly related, but would help me understand how I should proceed with my M3. So then I explained then why I would like to apply, as I said before. And you also need to make sure that it's really clear why should they consider your application. So everyone has strengths and weakness. I always point out why you are a good person to fit on the industry. You need to, I think, self-service internship, you need to find something that you are passionate about or you are interested about. Like, okay, oh, I work with molecular biology, but I would like to understand a bit more of biomaterials. It's completely different from my field, but also it's related to my field because I need biomaterials to finish up my PhD. So overall, I think there are a lot of good advantages that you can get from internship experiences. So besides of our career development, you also have personal development. I made a really good friends with them at the internship. I had a great time there. I challenged myself. I could create a great network. So someone knows me and I know someone that I can go and apply for industry position, or I even have a reference letter from someone in the industry. So you can create opportunity, you can train in different fields of where you work with. And I think you always need to set the right goal, why and what I'm gonna gain and what I'm going to give through this internship experience. So to finish here, I would like to thank you all, especially Susan, for all the help through my HDR internship application and so on. And I hope I did not forget anything and I am able to answer any questions that you might have.
Thanks so much, Juliana. What a great presentation. And, you know, I so enjoyed your perspective on when was the right time for you to do it. And it's so interesting because it varies from student to student. You know, I had a student who presented recently and he had done his internship when he was 6 months in. And the nature of the internship included a literature review and, you know, a few other components. And at the end, he said to me, I felt like I had this dry run of my whole PhD condensed into the 3-month internship. And so it's sort of, he felt like it set him up really well. But I really appreciate your point that it's different for everyone depending on their individual PhD topic, what the plans with their supervisor, and when it is going to be most appropriate to be able to undertake it. And also, it was just such a pleasure to work with you, because when Juliana first reached out to me, I just loved that you were like, this is where I'm going. This is what I want to do. This is the company that I want to do it with. Yeah. And in terms of self-sourcing, you know, we tried a number of things, because for a while the industry partner didn't have budget available to host the internship. So we Julia and I kind of like teamed up to say, okay, well, let's try this avenue and let's try this avenue. So, you know, we said, okay, how about we host it through the QT HDR internship program, and if not, we can host it through APR intern, if you know, if that's a better option for them. So we tried a few, you know, avenues together, and also I really appreciated your point that it does take time, and if students are thinking of doing one early next year, they really should be starting to think about it now, because I think for us it did take about 3 months.
I think from first approved, they said they would like to, but they did not have the budget. So I think I would consider it between 4 to 6 months to be success. Depends of like time. Sometimes you want to do an internship, but then the company actually already have someone doing an internship. So it's not, doesn't depend on you or on the HDR. It's also an industry. It's like a team of thing. And one thing that I might had forget, I think you need, like, for my perspective, I would like to do on the, once I had enough, because I'm already anxious. So I was like, I don't want to do anything that could actually affecting on my candidature, like in terms of collecting results, or like, for me, I was like, okay, I have enough. So I can stop now for 3 months and do my internship and so on. And I'm still like contact them. So, you know, I might have an opportunity there once I finish. So I think it's great. And for me, I always wanted, and another thing that another reason that would be, if you have a doubt about academia or industry, you need to experience industry to see, maybe academia is great, but maybe industry fits more in your personality or what do you want for your career and so on. You know, I always knew that I was more myself, I could see myself more in industry than in academia. I love research, but I want to do research in an industry perspective of view, you know? Yeah.
Fantastic. And I wondered if maybe you could talk a little bit about the pre-internship experience, you know, the just what you go through as a student doing the internship module and, you know, formalizing the agreement with myself or Simon through GRED.
Yeah, I think one of a great advantage that I had, it's like I knew what I would like to do. So it was easy to approach. So since the beginning of my PhD, like I think before my 6 months, I searched at QT, HDR Internship website. And then I took all the courses, online courses that you have to do it, because to be able to apply, you need to be watch some workshop and finish some of the pre-internship application. And so I knew what are the skills I would like to improve. So I think on the HDR, we do have a questionnaire that you have to fill up. What would you like to improve, and what do you think you already are? It's already your strengths. So yeah, it's a lot of paperwork, but it's a needed paperwork. So that's why I think everyone needs to keep in mind that it's a processing. It's like things doesn't happen overnight, especially if you want something self-service internship. It's more related to what you want. But I think a great advantage of self-service internship, it's like you don't compete with anyone. Like you approved, and then you create the opportunity. It's kind of like you go and sell yourself to the company and they can buy or not. So I think it's a really great skills to have. And yeah.
It's such a great analogy, and it's true. Having that pitching capability is such a great skill set. And so I feel that students who self-source their internships actually walk away with even more skills than, you know, students that just go through the application process, because it does, you know, taking that negotiation and communication with the industry partner to get that sorted before you approach grad, that's developing your skill set as well. Well, thank you so much for a fantastic presentation,
No
Juliana.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, thank you. It was a delight to have you here. And before I head on with the rest of my workshop, does anyone have any questions for Juliana before we head on? Karine, I know you can't speak, but if you have any questions in the that you'd like to put into the chat, you're welcome to. No? Okay. All right.
So guys, we do have one chat. If anyone wants to contact me by LinkedIn, let me see. I don't know if I know. Do you have me at LinkedIn, Susan? But yes, it's like you can find me, guys, Juliana Chaves. So I'm gonna send you everyone. And like, be welcome to send me any message. I don't mind replying. Okay.
That's great. Thank you so much.